Hello and welcome to today's workshop. Today we're going to work all on foam rolling our upper body. So there's going to be lots of emphasis on our back, our low back, our upper back, as well as our lats, kind of the sides of our upper body, a little bit of chest. We'll do arms. We're going to finish off with our neck, the very base of our skull. So let's get started. We're going to start with our low back, and this is a really nice spot because it also lets us talk a little bit about some of our foam rolling best practices. So anytime we're foam rolling, we really want to make sure we are foam rolling over the muscles and not our bones. And our low back, we have to treat a little bit differently from the rest of our body. So all we've got going on are our vertebrae running down our spine, and there's no support on the side. So the only things going on here are our vertebrae, and we don't want to just roll directly over our spine. It's going to be putting a lot of pressure on all of those little joints without having anything like our ribs that we've got on our upper back to displace some of that weight. All of that is to say, when we're rolling our lower back, we're going to lean a little bit to the side so that instead of rolling straight down our spine, we're going to aim for all of these muscly bits that are running down either side of our spine. So we're going to try to get the roller right here and keep a little bit of a tuck in our pelvis. Not like you're doing a really hardcore crunch, but just a little bit of a lift. We're gonna roll from the bottom of our ribs all the way down until you hit the top of your hip bone. So your low back isn't a huge area, but we'll give it a couple rolls. So you should be going nice and slow. Slight lean to the side so our chest isn't totally facing up to the ceiling. We're not just smushing our spine. We're trying to get that roller over those muscly bits. And we're keeping that little tuck so we're not just being floppy noodles, literally rolling on our back. That is not a great way to keep your low back healthy long term. So I don't want you to be engaged so much that this feels like a core exercise. This should feel relatively relaxed. We'll just do a couple passes here, waking things up. Then we'll switch to the other side. So taking a little lean away from your midline. So instead of chest straight up towards the ceiling, angling it maybe like 70 degrees instead of 90 degrees. So we're rolling over the other half of our spine. Going down to where our hip bone is sticking out on the back of our hip. Start going up our low back, stopping right when you get to the bottom of your rib cage. So we'll just do a couple passes here, nice and slow. Just like that first side, I have a little bit of a tuck through my tailbone, so I'm not letting my low back arch a ton here. It's pretty flat. I'm in a neutral position. Just taking a couple of gentle rolls. If you've done a lot of back conditioning, like Superman's or back extensions, and that area is sore, it feels really nice. It's like the laziest way to give yourself a massage. And then while we're doing a little low back release, go ahead, take the roller. We're gonna prop it up under our hips and lie on down. From here, I'll keep my hands on the roller just to hold it in place. Tuck my knees in towards my chest. Letting my low back round a little bit. Hips are slightly lifted, and this little bit of rounding is gonna help decompress our low back. From here, hands still on the roller. You can let your knees start to rock side to side. Taking a little bit of a twist through your pelvis, through your hips. Getting a little bit more length through that low back. If you want to take this deeper, you can let your knees start to rock even farther side to side. As long as that feels good, we're keeping our shoulders down. So just our hips are moving and our ribs, our low back is starting to twist. If you've got some pretty open hips and you want a different variation of this, you can turn this into a happy baby, just like in yoga. So you're bending your knees are kind of pulling down toward your ribs or toward your armpits. Soles of your feet up to the ceiling. You can grab your feet if that feels like you still got balance on your roller and it's not just gonna shoot out away from under your butt, or you can have hands on the roller and just be doing slappy, wide leg twist side to side. This also feels real nice. Got a lot of tightness in your low back. And I'll do one more rock to each side. Then you can lose the roller from under your butt. And we're gonna keep rolling up our back. So now we're gonna do our mid and upper back. So that's gonna be everything from the bottom of our ribs all the way up to the base of our neck. This time we're not gonna go over our low back at all because we are gonna be doing this one pretty head on. So we don't wanna be putting too much pressure on our low back. So I'm gonna start leaning back in the roller just at the base of my ribs on my back. Hands will interlace behind my head. And I'm gonna actually pull my elbows together towards the ceiling, which is what everyone tells you not to do in a crunch. But we're gonna do this while we're rolling because pointing our elbows up, it's gonna pull our shoulder blades away from our spine. And that's gonna give us a little bit more space to roll over some of the muscly bits between your shoulder blades. Instead of shoulders out to the sides, elbows to the side, shoulder blades smushing together, and you're just gonna be rolling over bone. Not ideal. So hands behind our head, squeezing our elbows together just to help our shoulder blades get out of the way. And then we're gonna start rolling all the way up to the base of our neck. Keep it going slow, all the way down to the bottom of your ribs. Not going over your low back. We're gonna go straight back up the way we came. And this is a nice time to talk about, we want this to be very slow and controlled. Generally with foam rolling, slower is better. Your body is not empanada dough, it's not pie dough. You're not just gonna smush over it like a rolling pin. We wanna give our body time to feel the sensation, give the muscles a hot second or two to adjust, maybe to relax, let your nerves realize what's happening. And if you're feeling any spots when you're rolling, for anything that we're doing today, if there's a particular spot that feels a little tight, maybe you've got a little scar tissue or you find a little bit of a knot, you're welcome to just hang out and breathe for a couple seconds. Letting gravity just let your body push a little bit more intensely into that roller. Breathing for a nice slow 4 to 8 counts, so kind of holding it for a while. Giving your body some time, maybe it'll even release that knot a little bit. And then you can slowly start taking a nice controlled wiggle, start making it a little bigger, and then return back to your nice full rolls up and down whatever body part you are working on. And I gotta adjust because I'm slowly sneaking myself towards the wall. So still doing mid and upper back. Got my tailbone just a little bit tucked here. So I'm keeping my back in a pretty neutral position. I'm not letting this be a really arched roll. I'm using a little bit of my core to support this. That's just helping me get all of those muscles running up either the side of my spine, pushing into the roller a little bit more. And we'll do 2 more passes up and down our mid and upper back. Ones. And while we're here, we'll do a little bit more of an active exercise, less using the roller to relax, more really good conditioning for your upper back. This happens to be very comfortable to do with the roller. So I'm gonna place the roller right at the base of where my shoulder blades are coming down. If you are wearing a sports bra, I'll go right where the bottom band of your sports bra is. I'm gonna keep my butt on the ground, belly button sucked in. So I'm already kind of doing a little bit of a supported crunch here. Hands are gonna come behind my head, elbows together. So I'm helping pull my shoulder blades away from my spine. From here, I'm gonna keep that belly button sucking in as I start to let my head and my shoulders lean back. So I'm getting a little bit of a back bend in my upper back. You do not have to go all the way to the floor. You can just lean back an inch. Just enough that you're feeling your abs engage a little bit more. And then we're gonna lift back up. Back to a nice strong, I like boat pose in yoga or flat back crunch. Finding your baby back bend and then exhale coming back up. 5 more times. Inhaling, finding a baby back bend. Belly button is still sucking in, so abs are engaged the whole time. Crunching back up for 4. Inhaling, arch. Exhaling, contract, and last 3, 2, and can slowly come on up. Shake it out if you need to. And then we'll keep doing our regular rolling. So we're going to focus a little bit on the tops of our shoulders. So for this one, I'm going to have my roller kind of like right in the middle of my shoulder blades. Hands supporting the back of my head, elbows together. And I'm just going to roll over the very top of my shoulders. Just an inch or two. Really aiming for all of these muscle ablets right between your shoulder blades. Stopping right at the base of your neck. So our neck, just like our low back, is just our vertebrae, just the rest of our spine. We don't want to smush too much pressure there. So just taking a little lean here, forwards and backwards. This is also an area where you can lean a little bit to one side or the other. If you're finding a little spot between your shoulder blades that needs a little extra love. And one or two more passes, nice and slow up here. Letting your body weight just push all the squishy bits between your shoulder blades into the roller. And then since we've done our low back and our upper back and the very, very tops of our shoulders, let's take that into a progressive breathing exercise. For this one, if you're on the tighter upper back side, you might want a pillow or a yoga block for your head for this exercise. I will show you what it looks like with the block and without. Totally up to you. We're going to start with the roller at our low back, shoulders and head on the floor. Low back is in a little bit of a back bend. And from here, we're going to take a couple deep breaths. And we're going to slowly start working the roller higher up our back, moving that arch, that supported arch from our lower back to our mid back, to our upper back, and eventually while our head is falling off into our neck. So for here, feet can be planted on the floor, knees bent. If you've got a lot of bend, you can extend those legs. That'll make your arch a little bit more pronounced. Only if that feels cool on your low back. If this feels like a lot of pressure, go ahead, bend those knees, plant those feet. So here we'll take a deep breath in and exhale out. And then we're going to slowly slide that roller just a teeny bit higher up our back. Just let your hips fall a little bit farther away. Roller's still on our low back, but maybe it's starting to touch the bottom of your rib cage. Still just breathe in here. Nice and slow and controlled. Nice inhale. And exhale, relax. We're going to take the roller a little bit higher, starting to take it to the bottom of our ribs. So butt is starting to hang away from the roller towards the floor. If this starts to become like a lot of pressure in your neck, this is where you can bring your yoga block or your pillow under your head for a little bit of support to make this upper back bend a little less intense. Totally up to you. So nice deep inhale here. And exhale, let it go. Now roll the roller a little bit higher up our ribs, so now kind of square in the middle of the ribs. Not quite in our shoulder blades yet. Shoulder blades are still dangling off in space. Arms can be out to the side, or you can bring them overhead if you want a little bit of a shoulder stretch. Inhaling nice and slow. And exhaling nice and slow. Taking our roller a little bit higher. So now we're taking it really to the base of our shoulder blades. Head is either relaxing towards the floor, or maybe it's supported on your pillow or a block. Another deep inhale in, and exhale out. And last one, we're gonna roll the roller up to the middle of our shoulder blades. Head either still on your pillow, or maybe it's relaxing towards the floor, taking a deep neck stretch here. We'll do our last inhale in, this time really thinking about inhaling into the lungs, expanding those lungs, expanding the front of your ribs while you're in your arch. And exhale, let it go. And then you can tuck your chin towards your chest, find your way to come on out. And since we've just done pull out of the back of our upper body. Let's start taking it into our side body, into our lats. So for a lot of our side body and arms and shoulder stuff, all of this, I can show you how to do it on the floor. If any of this feels very intense, these are also angles that are pretty easy to get with the roller on the wall. So lats are an area that's great to do this with, so I'll show it to you both ways, especially if your lats are sore. Sometimes doing it on the floor is a little intense, at least for me. So our lats are all of the muscles that are kind of running through the sides of our rib cage, all the way up outside of our armpit, just to the bottom of our upper arm. So we're actually going to be going through the outside of our armpit. So don't be shy, we're going to go all the way into our armpit. We're not going to start right below. Roll through the whole thing. So we're going to start lying sideways on our roller, right at the bottom of our rib cage. We'll start right side down, so right arm is going to be nice and loosey-goosey and relaxed. I'm going to start rolling up the side of my rib cage. I'm going to go past the outside of my armpit, all the way getting just to the top of my upper arm, trying to keep that right arm as relaxed as possible, and then rolling all the way back down. So you're going to keep this nice and controlled. And right arm, you can have palm up, palm down, palm forwards, anything that's comfortable. We're just trying to keep that arm nice and relaxed. If this is awkward for you to slowly drag your side body on the roller on the floor, or if this feels real intense in your lats, this might be a little more comfortable to do against the wall. We're still going to be smushing those same muscles into the roller. So I'll have my roller kind of parallel to the ground on the wall. I like starting at the top, so I'm going to start right above my armpit and roll through the outside of my armpit. Start going down, going to about the bottom or the middle of my rib cage, then back up the way I came. So if this is feeling a little more coordinated, a little easier for you to get, just leaning into the wall with your body weight, you can roll out your lats this way. Or if you were like in the floor where you get to use a little bit more of your body weight, a little bit more gravity pushing down, you can do the floor. So we'll do one more pass on our right side. And then we'll switch sides. Either stand on the wall if you're enjoying the wall, or you can be on the floor. So going bottom of our ribs, we're like all the way up outside, the outside of our ribs, through the outside of our armpit. Again, aiming for the muscly bits and not just smushing it directly into the side of your rib cage. So I'm gonna take a teeny lean towards the ceiling to get more of the muscly area that's running along my side body. This time we're keeping left arm as relaxed as we can. Trying to keep those lats relaxed while we're rolling them out. And we'll do 2 or 3 more passes on this side. Keeping it slow. Maybe if you find a spot that's feeling real tight, you just want to relax and breathe. Or you can keep rolling the whole time, keeping that gentle movement. All right, then we'll move on to our chest. So for your chest and for your pecs, it's maybe a little different if you are someone who has boobs versus someone who does not have boobs. For folks with boobs, you don't want to roll directly over them. That is not going to be comfortable. So the area you're going to be aiming for, more the outside of your chest. If you're more on the flat chested side for me, you can go a little bit farther, but we're going to aim at it for like everything that would be hanging out of your bra up to your shoulder. So from here on up, kind of at a diagonal. If you do not have boobs to worry about, if you are a man, you're welcome to roll over your entire chest through the whole pecs. If that is comfortable, go for it. So we're gonna have the roller rolling over either just the outside of our chest at about a 45-degree angle, or you can go over the whole whole chest area if that's comfortable on your body. Right arm, I'm just gonna have relaxed out to the side. I like having it on the opposite side of my roller. Some people kind of keep it behind them. I find that a little bit awkward. So we're gonna roll a couple times. Leaning the outside of our chest into the roller. So your pecs are not huge, so this is really just a couple inches in either direction. Might even be getting into the top of your shoulder a little bit. That's okay. It's okay, get a couple breaths. This might feel very special if you did like bench press or push-ups or some very chest intensive exercise and your chest is short. Take it easy. This is something that's pretty easy to self-regulate how much weight you're pushing in the roller. If you're kneeling, you can take a little more weight in your feet, take a little more weight in that supporting hand, to take a little weight out of your chest that you're putting into the roller. And we'll do one more pass in and out on this side. And then you can move your roller. There's the left side of your chest. Again, either going from outer boob up towards your shoulder or going through the whole chest. If you do not have boobs, that will be getting in the way. Left arm is going to relax on the ground. It can be straight, it can be bent, as long as it's not doing work. And we'll roll the outside edge of these pecs. Taking a couple of breaths, keeping it slow. Since this is a relatively small area, especially if you are doing just the outer pec rolling, this one can be really tempting to do very quickly. We want to keep it awkwardly slow. Think about getting a massage. Getting a massage is no fun if someone is just doing a lawnmower up and down your back super fast. You want it to be nice and slow. Appreciate that pressure. We'll do another 2 passes on this left side. And then you can come on up. And before we do the rest of our arms, since we just did our chest, let's start with a nice passive chest opener. Depending on how long your roller is, if you've got a long one like this, you won't need anything else. If you've got one of the shorty ones, you might want an extra yoga block to either prop up your hips or the back of your head. So what we're gonna wanna be doing, we're gonna wanna lie back long ways, hot dog ways on your roller. So our hips and our shoulders and our head are all at the same height. If you got your short roller and you can only fit the space between your shoulder blades and your neck on the roller, go ahead, throw a pillow or a yoga block or something under your hips to bring it to about the same height. Does not have to be totally the same. And once you're lying back, roller right on the middle of your spine. We're gonna open up our arms out to the sides, palms facing up. So this is a very gentle chest stretch. If you've got really tight chest, it might feel a little more than gentle, but this is a nice one because your back is supported, head is supported. You can take a couple deep breaths here. If you want to add a little motion, we can make some snow angels. You'll, as relaxed as you can, keeping those tops of your hands on the floor. Start to let your hands and your forearms drag down towards your hips. Keeping your shoulders nice and heavy, so we're keeping them relaxed as opposed to making this really active and moving with force. And we're gonna keep our hands nice and heavy. Start opening them up out to the sides and slowly starting to reach them up overhead. As high as is comfortable, so maybe you stop arms at about 45 degrees. Maybe you can bring them all the way up overhead if that still feels relatively effortless. And doing some of the laziest snow angels imaginable. And you might even feel some of the muscly bits between your shoulder blades pushing into the roller. If you find a spot that feels like, ooh, there's a little something going on, you can hang out. Take a little lean, a little wiggle through your chest, see if you can push that muscly bit into the roller just a little bit more. Or you can keep your snow angels going, reaching your arms up and down as we're getting our nice relaxed chest stretch. So we'll do one more up and down, and we'll come back to our rolly party. And last one coming down, nice and relaxed. This is effortless as you can be. But we still have to use some muscles because we're moving. And find your way coming off your roller. We'll roll out our arms. So we're gonna start with our shoulders, our delts, kind of the teardroppy muscle on the very top of your shoulder. For this one, I like doing this on the floor. So we're gonna be rolling from the bottom of that teardrop up to the top of our shoulder. So kind of like top third of your arm up. And put the top of my shoulder on the roller. Palm faces up towards the ceiling. And just take a couple of rolls forwards and backwards. Left forearm can be on the floor, hand can be on the floor, whatever makes this feel relatively relaxed. This is another one where you can really control how much body weight you're pushing into that shoulder. You can really lean into that shoulder if you want a lot of force, or you can lean more into your left arm, your knees if this is feeling like a lot, and you want to roll it a little more gently. You can experiment with your angles here, taking a little lean, kind of going more towards the outside of your delt, lifting your chest away from your roller. Or getting the inside edge, dropping your chest towards the roller. But still aiming for the top of our shoulder. Still going for that little teardrop muscle. We're not going all the way down our arm just yet. But then we can start taking it down our arm. Let's go to our bicep, because that's an easy one to get from this position. For our bicep, we're gonna start taking a roll a little lower. I'm gonna rotate my arm so my thumb is pointing towards the floor. It does not have to be like an aggressive thumbs upside. I'm just gonna rotate so we get it. So now our bicep is angled towards the floor. And we'll lazily roll over our bicep. So you're welcome to keep going all the way up through your shoulder, or you can just be stopping kind of where that teardrop ends. Going through the meaty part of your bicep, down your elbow crease, and back up. Nice and controlled. Keeping it slow again, we're not trying to rush this one. Another 2 more passes here. I'm gonna move to the back of our upper arm for our tricep. For tricep, I like doing this one with reaching arm overhead. You can either reach it straight overhead or kind of angle it out to the side. We're gonna do thumb facing up towards the ceiling. So we're getting tricep underside of our arm. We don't wanna go directly over our elbow, so we'll stop just short before you get to the bony elbow piece. Start rolling up your tricep. Bonus points if you go all the way into your armpit, and then still going back down. Same way you keep stopping right before you get to the bony part of your elbow. And all of these arm exercises are ones you're also welcome to do against the wall. May take a little more or less coordination. Totally up to you if leaning into them on the floor is feeling like a lot. Leaning into them on the wall, you have a little bit more control of your body weight, might feel a little gentler. So you got thumb facing up, bottom of our arm on the roller. Oh boy, this one's giving me some feels. Gonna lean a little more to my knees. All right, one more pass on our triceps, up and down, or whichever directions you got left on this one. Good, then we'll move to our left arm. So again, starting with our delts, top of our shoulder, this nice beautiful teardrop that sticks out on the front. So I'm gonna drop my arm down, palm facing up, rolling over the top of my shoulder, down about 1/3 of my upper arm. The palm is up. Arm can either be straight out behind you, angled out to the side, doesn't really matter. As long as you're feeling that pressure in your delts. Hopefully feeling more on the relaxing end of the spectrum, less of the, oh God, this is intense spectrum. It's sore if you do a lot of shoulder overhead press typey things. Maybe this is gonna feel a little tender. All right, we'll do one more roll up our delts. Or you're welcome to take this one a little longer if you wanna play with those angles, leaning into or away from your roller, kind of getting the outside edge, the inside edge. Feel free to pause the video if you want to play a little bit. And then we'll take it down to our bicep. So thumb is going to be to the floor. So bicep can now face the ground and face the roller. Rolling down to our elbow crease. up to the top of our shoulder. Good. Left arm staying relaxed. So we don't want that bicep to be working at all while we're trying to roll it out. We're trying to roll it while it's nice and loosey-goosey. And 2 more rolls over your nice meaty bicep. And then we'll take it into our triceps. So for this one, left arm is going to reach up overhead or kind of out to the side. Thumb faces up towards the ceiling so we can get the underside of our arm, underside, kind of outside, onto the roller. Rolling it all the way up into our armpit. And then all the way back down, stopping just before you get to that bony part of your elbow. Making sure you're still breathing while you're going nice and slow. And we'll do one more pass up and down, nice and slow and controlled. Oh yeah, this side's, at least both of my sides are evenly tight. That's always a nice discovery. All right, once you've given your triceps on your left side with love, you can shake stuff out if it needs a little bit more. I'll do our forearms real quick. Forearms are nice if you do any kind of climbing hobbies. So that could be rock climbing, that could be pole dance, that could be aerial silks. Anything where you're doing lots of gripping or hand balancing, forearms can get really tight. So it's nice to give them a little bit of love. Also, it feels pretty nice getting the massage, so it's nice. Feels good even if you don't use them for a lot. So forearms, I like to do them both at the same time. We're gonna start forearms on the roller, thumbs pointing up to the ceiling, and I'm just gonna let my arms relax and flap. Almost like you're doing little T-Rex arms. And we're gonna roll from our elbows all the way out towards our wrists and then back towards our elbows. In this side, we're gonna be pretty gentle because this is really the bony edge of your forearm. So there isn't a ton of muscle here to roll out, but we will get them from a couple of different angles. And we're gonna flip our arms over, palms up to the ceiling. And you can take your elbows out to the side if this one feels a little complicated to keep your elbows in, forearms parallel to each other. So now we're rolling over the tops of our forearms, or you can do one arm at a time. I like to multitask on this one. So it's like you are relaxed but holding up a plate of desserts. Rolling over upper part of our forearm. Then let's take it down more to the muscly side. We're gonna do palms down towards the floor, rolling over the bottom side of our forearms, hands still staying totally relaxed. Keeping it slow. And we'll end with the inside of our forearms. This one's a little awkwardly to do them both at once. If it's comfortable on your shoulders and you got a long roller, you can kind of reach your arms out to the side. These ones, thumbs down, pinkies up, palms out to the sides. If it feels weird and not relaxing to do both at the same time, just do one at a time. We're doing thumb to the floor, then relaxing that hand. Taking a couple rolls to the inside edge, the bottom of our arm. Good. Generally the inside and the bottom, these are kind of the two positions where we got a little more muscle, so these would feel a little better to do. There are also the spots that might get a little bit more sore from actually doing things. If you're doing one arm at a time, go ahead and switch arms. If you're doing them both at the same time, keep doing that. One more on this other arm. Then we'll end with a little bit of rolling for our neck. So the preface for our neck is like our low back. Even though I'm saying we're gonna be rolling our neck, we're not actually gonna have the roller on the vertebrae in our neck. We're gonna want the roller right at the base of our skull and up where the two little bony protrusions are sticking out at the bottom of your skull. So really we're aiming for where our skull and our neck is meeting. We don't actually want the roller smushing into all of the lonesome vertebrae in the middle of our neck. That's gonna be a lot of pressure. It's gonna take you a little bit lower so you can see. So we're gonna lie back on our roller, trying to bring our roller right to the base of our skull where those two little bony points are sticking out. So you can see I've got space between my neck and the roller, and I'm not letting my neck relax on the roller. So the roller's a little bit higher up my skull. From here, I'm gonna slowly nod my head yes, dropping my nose, chin towards my chest, and starting to reach my nose up towards the ceiling. It doesn't have to be a full head shake. Really, we're just looking for a teeny bit of activation through those muscles that are running up the back of your neck. And then we're gonna connect in the base of your skull, right where that roller is pushing in. So giving them a little bit of pressure. And every time we're tucking our chin to our chest, we're letting those muscles stretch just a little bit more. So this isn't just rolling, this is a little bit of an assisted stretch. We'll do one more with our head in neutral position. And I'm gonna lean a little bit to the right side, just enough that I'm bringing the pressure in the roller to the right side of my skull instead of having it evenly distributed between right and left. I'm just gonna be leaning it right to this spot right here. With the roller right at the base of my skull on that right side. I'm gonna trace a little circle with my nose. Still just giving that spot at the base of my skull a gentle push into the roller. You don't have to think about pushing your head into the floor. Just the weight of gravity is plenty. We're gonna do our circle the other way. And we're gonna switch sides. You're gonna gently look your head towards the left. You don't have to lean all the way over. Butt and shoulders could probably still stay on the floor, just so that we've got the weight, the little bony part on the left side of our head, gently pushing into your roller. Then trace a circle with your nose here. Do a little circle. And switch directions. And we're gonna come back to the middle. Readjust your roller if it moved at all. So we're making sure it's right at the base of our skull. Still a little bit of space between our neck and the roller. Then we're gonna trace a figure 8 with our nose. Alternating, pushing one half of our skull into the roller at a time. You could do an infinity symbol, figure 8, whatever you like. And then do it the other direction. Then we'll come back to the middle, one last round of shaking our head yes. Nice and controlled, getting that stretch through the back of our neck every time we tuck our chin towards our chest. And then when you're ready, you can tuck your chin, lift your head up just for a moment so you can lose the roller. And that will wrap up our fun upper body foam rolling adventures. I always like ending with the neck because I feel like it lengthens everything and makes me feel so much taller than when I started. I hope you feel the same and hope you enjoy future workshops.